Some things catapult us into political activity and make us take a side and take up some sort of action. In my case, it was torture. In Sue Gray's case, I'm sure it was seeing the underbelly, the foul underbelly, the filth, the scurrilous, sodden side of conservatism exposed in the investigation that she undertook into Partygate. It's just filth. And I think had I been asked to investigate that, had I been invited to examine that, I would equally have been tempted not only to leave the civil service, but also to fly the flag of any other party than Boris Johnson's. I think I think, as with any exorcist, it takes its toll. And Sue Gray, rather than being given support by the Conservative Party, was harried and harassed from almost day one. She was also treated as filth. This was not an impartial and abstract investigation. This was an investigation that was going to leave casualties, and the person conducting it was not going to be unaffected. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Sue Gray has jumped ship, both from the civil service and jumped towards a rival party than the one that she was investigating. Mr. Dowden, Oliver Dowden, the Deputy Prime Minister, one has to say that with a straight face, but, you know, really, it stretches credibility, doesn't it? Oliver Dowden, what has he done? Not very much, really, has he? I mean, he's another one from the digital culture, media and sport organisation, rather like Nadine Dorries, who whiled away his time there doing nothing, really. What is it? Foxtrot Oscar, did somebody say the other day. I thought that was rather clever. So he says, Miss Gray was given the opportunity to make representations as part of this process, but chose not to do so. I am unable at this stage to provide further information relating to the departure of Miss Gray whilst we consider next steps. So, as far as I can see, it doesn't matter what time she started to sound out the opposition. What matters is whether Keir Starmer engaged with it. And she's perfectly entitled to a private life as long as she doesn't comment on anything. And I think she has suffered greatly from exposure to the filth of Boris's Partygate and Boris's behaviour, like Max von Sydow in The Exorcist suffered greatly from exposure to the evil demons, and trying to find a timeline might be difficult, not only for the Conservative Party, for the parliamentary investigation, and indeed for Miss Gray and for Keir Starmer himself. It might be difficult to identify that timeline. Is it important? All that's important is at what point Sir Keir Starmer actually engaged with Miss Gray, and at what point he invited her to become part of his team. And I think that's fairly well defined. The problem is this investigation is not impartial. Yeah, you know. He's come to see what's going on. He's a supporter of Sue Gray as well.